Ringo Starr is a legendary drummer and a talented songster. But how do his parenting skills measure up? And how has his fame impacted his family life? The most famous Beatles children are arguably those of John Lennon and Paul McCartney, who have gone on to make big waves in the worlds of music and fashion. But all of the Fab Four became fathers during their heyday. In total, 11 people can say their parents were Beatles. Some of these people have sought fame, while others have tried to keep a low profile, despite having been born to some of the most celebrated musicians of all time. Ringo Starr has 3 biological children, 2 sons and a daughter, named Zach, Jason, and Lee, who are children from his first marriage to ex-Liverpool hairdresser Maureen. That marriage ended in 1975, reportedly as a result of Ringo's extramarital affairs and alcoholism, though he has stayed in contact with the 3 children in the years since. The most famous of Ringo Starr's children is his oldest son, Zach, who was born in London on September 13, 1965, at the height of the Beatles' fame. At the time, the Fab Four were still a live act, touring major venues for the enjoyment of thousands of delirious fans. Nevertheless, the band's drummer made an effort to spend as much time as possible with his infant son. He and Maureen reportedly chose the name Zach because Ringo had a dislike of names that can be shortened. While Ringo has long been considered one of rock music's nice guys, Zach spent much of his youth with one of the industry's most notable bad boys, The Who drummer Keith Moon. For his part, Ringo himself only ever gave Zach 1 drumming lesson, as he apparently would have preferred he be taught piano instead. Nevertheless, Zach grew up to become a famous drummer in his own right, beginning in a garage band called The Next, which later became Mono Pacific. He hit the big time later in life as drummer for both The Who and Oasis.
Keith Moon was Uncle Keith to him, and he felt he should have been in the band 10 years earlier, actually.
Ringo Starr's second son arrived on August 19, 1967. Like Ringo and Zach, Jason has forged a career in music, becoming the 3rd drummer in the family's history. Jason and Zach have even collaborated musically, forming a group called Musty Jack Sponge and the Exploding Nudists. He has also held several other jobs within the music industry, but claims to have found having a famous father more of a chore than a benefit. Jason has endured a few run-ins with the law over the years, including a fine for theft as well as some charges related to drug crime. He eventually settled down, fathering his first child in 1999. In 2010, he tied the knot with longtime companion Flora, and they had their last child in 2011, bringing the grand total to 4 sons. Despite having one of the world's most famous musicians for a father, he now tends to keep a relatively low profile. Ringo Starr's only biological daughter, Lee Starkey, was born on November 11, 1970, the year the Beatles officially disbanded. Her biggest brush with outright fame occurred in the early 1990s when she starred in a commercial for Oldsmobile alongside her father. She also provided the voiceover for the ad.
Hello, Daddy.
But Lee has embarked upon numerous projects of her own. That same decade, Lee was featured on an MSNBC segment focusing on the resurgence of interest in 60s fashion. Lee was central to the revival, having opened a boutique that began in London's fashionable Portobello Road before relocating to Los Angeles. In addition to his 3 biological children, Ringo also has 2 non-biological children in his life, Francesca and Gianni Gregorini, stepchildren from his second marriage to Barbara Bach. Ringo met Bach on the set of the movie Caveman in 1980. They married in 1981 and have stayed together ever since. Francesca went on to make a name for herself as an accomplished film director. She helmed Emmanuel and the Truth About Fishes, The Dropout, and several episodes of Killing Eve. Meanwhile, Gianni decided to follow in the footsteps of his biological father, Augusto, becoming a successful businessman.